everyone. Coach Sullivan here again from MGS Coaching Football. To my subscribers, thank you. To those who haven't yet, hope you do. Just completed my 38th year coaching football, of which I was a defensive coordinator. But over that time, I've been an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator. I've been a head coach. All of this at both the collegiate and high school levels. Today in this presentation, I want to talk to you about an 3-4 system when we give a rotate tag. Okay, just rotate, okay, how it affects the adjustments versus 11 personnel and formations, okay? Now, the coverage factors into that as well, but it's the rotate that's the significant part of it. So a rotate tag, first of all, we can use it multiple fronts, all right? It's not just for our base, which I have in this case, our base 3-4 front. We can create a 7-man box versus both 3x1 and 2x2, which I'll go over. In either case, only the safeties adjust. Okay, hence that's the rotate. Safeties rotate, no rope, which brings in the outside backers. Okay, so rotate, only the safeties are going to rotate with the motion. So the defensive call example I'm going to give you to start is 50 gray 4 rotate, 50 gray 4 rotate. So the kids know right now we're only going to have a 7-man box versus 3x1. So what I have up here is what we commonly refer to as Dallas, 2x2. So in fact, this is gun, Dallas, pistol. Okay, gun, Dallas, pistol. So since it's gray 4, they give us 2x2, we line up as we always do. Okay? And I'm not getting into the specifics of any coverages, just how we line up and how we adjust to motion when I have a rotate tag. It's simple for us, but it's a whole different world for our opponents on offense when we go games where we only show the base, and then all of a sudden against a certain team and opponent for tendency reasons, we utilize a rotate tag, and it's a whole different look, and it's not what they had prepared for. Okay, or conversely, we've shown a ton of the rotate, and then we only go base for the different reason, right? So here we are. I'm going to put any of the offense in red terms of motion, green, and then I'm going to use red for the defense, as I usually do, and I'll apologize up front if it gets messy or if I forget the colors. All right, so here it is, gun, Dallas, pistol, okay? Here comes the motion. That's what we call the MAC motion, motion across, right? So now what will happen, we make the rabbit calls, all those things stay the same per other presentations, right? Consistent. Instead of roping, that brings him in now, right? Is that 7-man box versus 3x1. And so now the safeties, they're the only adjusters. So now we got a single high look. You got it. And in another presentation, we can still execute our 3x1 check that we would use in gray 4. You can still do it. Okay, how's that for a tease? But it's also a fact. Okay, so that's it. That's the big difference with rotate. Instead of now roping everybody to maintain the 2-high structure, we rotate to a 1-high structure with a 7th man in the box. Okay, probably changed a lot of things from the offensive perspective. So now let me start off in the 3x1 and show you the opposite. Okay, so now we're going to start off over here. Okay. So see, here we go. I'm going to screw up the color system. But now the field corner be there. Boundary corner be there. Free safety, whip. And the dime's in the box already. Okay. So now what happens is he goes 1/8 Ike on number 2. He's at 12. If the ball's on the hash, okay, he's in the middle of the field where the post goes into the ground. If the ball's in the middle of the field, he's over the football, okay? Now, because we have this is still orbit. He's the alley defender. It's still orbit because it's one back, not two back. He doesn't have anybody behind him, okay? Makes sense? So now this is what's called Texas. 1, 2, 3 by 1. All right? Motions across, back to 2 by 2. Detach. Back to the 2 high structure. So that's how the rotate works when we're in our base grade 4. Okay, that's how it works. The safeties rotate. They adjust. That's not a big adjustment for the backer. Detach, add to the box. That's not what we consider a big adjustment. Detach from the box, add to the box. That's not a big thing. This is the big thing. So that's the rotate tag when we're in either our gray 4 or our gray 3, right? Our 2 different match quarters coverages. Okay? Make sense? All right. So now how does it change when we're in our lime coverage? And I'm only going to give you enough of the lime so you understand. Okay? I'm not getting into all the specifics. All righty? So now, let me get this thing cleaned up a little bit here. We're going to go back to the 2 by 2. Okay? Let's go back to the 2 by 2. So that's Dallas. I'm not going to continue to rewrite the names. Okay? So we got Dallas, 2 by 2. So now he's number 2. So if I call lime, change the coverage. This is what enables us to get a 7-man box versus both, 2 by 2 and 3 by 1. There it is. Okay? There it is. Again, it's going to be orbit because he's involved in what we call it's a robber 3D. Okay, it's a robber 3D, and so we'll do our best to disguise it. Okay, we'll stay detached, we'll stay too high and at the right time, and it depends on quarterback snap indicators and all those things. They'll screw down into this position here, so we have the 7-man box versus the 2 by 2 also. Okay, so then now we get that same Mac motion, right? Safeties rotate. And now the opposite of lime is green. And that's it. Okay? The opposite of lime becomes green. So now the Robin safety's over there because the middle safety's playing middle third. There it is. Boom, done. So by changing the coverage, we can get a 7-man box versus 2 by 2 and 3 by 1. Again, 11 personnel. Either way, only the safeties rotate because it's a rotate tag. Okay? That's it. That's all she wrote. So if you're playing a team that's pretty heavy run tendency, so you want to get a 7th man in the box, this is what we do. Just rotate. It tells that the safeties are the adjusters. Okay? And so, again, we can play it with our base gray 4. And by the way, tweaking the coverage to a single high, you're doing this to get a 7th man in the box to defend the run. So don't be afraid to do it. That's why we have the two different ways versus 11 personnel. Our base match quarters, both of them, and then we just go to a 3 deep with a Robin safety because he's in great position right there to play football, get a seventh man in the box. Okay, so that's our rotate tag. Okay, adjustments versus 11 personnel, 11, and essentially whether he's tight in 3-by-1 or it doesn't necessarily matter. It allows us to get the seventh guy in the box and dictate the two safeties are adjusting to the motion just by simply doing that at the end. Remember, my tags are the last thing before I clap, which tells the defense that's it for this call. No more signals. Face the offense. So as I said at the beginning, to my subscribers, thank you. To those who haven't yet, I hope you do. To everyone, questions, please reach out to me, Coach MJ Sullivan at gmail.com. Excuse me, easy for me to say, because I love to talk football with you.